Hi everyone, I'm Linda Reimer, one of the librarians at the Southeast Steuben County Library. Welcome to Library Connections, our weekly readers and listeners advisory video cast. Enjoy. Library Connections number 136. This is the Friday, March 17th, 2023 edition of Library Connections. And happy St. Patrick's Day. Jumping right in with the top 5 fiction bestsellers for the week from the New York Times. At number 1, It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. In the sequel to It Ends With Us, Lily deals with her jealous ex-husband as she reconnects with her first boyfriend. At number 2, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. A fictional oral history charting the rise and fall of a 70s rock and roll band. And this book is the basis for the new Netflix TV series. At number 3, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. A battered wife, raised in a violent home, attempts to halt the cycle of abuse. At number 4, Never Never, also by Colleen Hoover, this time out with Taryn Fisher. Questions arise when a pair of lovers try to uncover why they suddenly became strangers. And at number 5, Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. A scientist and single mother living in California in the 60s becomes a star on a TV cooking show. Moving on to the top 5 nonfiction bestsellers for the week. At number 1, Spare by Prince Harry. The Duke of Sussex details his struggles with the royal family, loss of his mother, service in the British Army, and marriage to Meghan Markle. At number 2, The Courage to Be Free by Ron DeSantis. The Florida governor gives his account of his achievements and shares his opinions about the political left. At number 3, The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. How trauma affects the body and mind, and innovative treatments for recovery. At number 4, I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. The actress and filmmaker describes her eating disorders and difficult relationship with her mother. And at number 5, It's Okay to Be Angry About Capitalism by Bernie Sanders with John Nichols. The Vermont senator depicts the impact capitalism has on key areas of our lives and ways to address this. In keeping with the fact that the day this videocast is released is St. Patrick's Day, my first recommendation for this week is a modern-day classic by the Irish-American author Frank McCourt. It's Angela's Ashes, his memoir, his first memoir because he did more than one, and it won the 1997 Pulitzer Prize. The review of the book starts out with a quote. McCourt says, "When I look back on my childhood, I wonder how I managed to survive it at all. It was, of course, a miserable childhood. The happy childhood is hardly worth your while. Worse than the ordinary miserable childhood is the miserable Irish childhood, and worse yet is the miserable Irish Catholic childhood." So begins the luminous memoir of Frank McCourt, born in Depression-era Brooklyn to recent Irish immigrants and raised in the slums of Limerick, Ireland. Frank's mother, Angela, has no money to feed the children, since Frank's father, Malachi, rarely works, and when he does, he drinks his wages. Yet Malachi, exasperating, irresponsible, and beguiling, does nurture in Frank an appetite for the one thing he can provide, a story. Frank lives for his father's tales of Cuchulainn, who saved Ireland, and of the angel in the seventh step, who brings his mother babies. Perhaps it is story that accounts for Frank's survival. Wearing rags for diapers, begging a pig's head for Christmas dinner, and gathering coal from the roadside to light a fire, Frank endures poverty, near starvation, and the casual cruelty of relatives and neighbors, yet lives to tell his tale with eloquence, exuberance, and remarkable forgiveness. Angela's ashes, imbued on every page with Frank McCourt's astounding humor and compassion, is a glorious book that bears all the marks of a classic. And just a note for audiobook fans, there's an audiobook version where the author narrates the audiobook, and Frank McCourt was a terrific storyteller. He even sings songs in the audio. So if you're an audiobook fan, check out Angela's Ashes, written and read by Frank McCourt. It's top-notch. Our second recommended read for this week is the novel Solar Bones by Mike McCormack. The latest from McCormack is a beautifully constructed novel that blends Beckett's torrential monologues with a realist portrait of small-town Ireland. The book opens with short, fragmented descriptions of the systolic thump of a church bell heard by a man, Marcus Conway, standing in his kitchen. He is a civil engineer and a one-time seminary student who lives on the west coast of Ireland, at the edge of this known world. Waiting for his wife and children to return home, Marcus is struck by the twitchy energy in the ether, mystified at being swept up on a rush of words and bombarded with a hail of images. Free of periods, this one-sentence novel is comprised of Marcus's unceasing reflections and recollections, some lyrical and tender, others caustic, on his childhood, family, politics, and local building projects. He marvels at the miraculous construction of the world while feeling a sense of foreboding at its imminent unraveling. Bodies, minds, buildings, financial systems, the civic order, and the universe itself, the whole vast assemblage of stars and galaxies in their wheeling rotations, all seem poised on the brink of collapse. As Marcus waxes eloquent on everything from tractor parts to concrete foundations, the novel's suspense derives from the mystery of why this strange day, All Souls' Day as it happens, occasions such an unspooling of the mind. This is an intelligent, striking work. And that's the Starred Publishers Weekly Review. And no doubt suffice it to say, if you want to read something a little different, check this one out. Our first audiobook recommendation for this week is the novel Irish Eyes by Mary Kay Andrews, which you may know is a pen name. The author is very popular in her writings under this name, but her given name is Kathy Hogan Trocek. And I mention that because when we get to the review part of the book, they mention the author's name as Trocek and not Andrews, so it's the same person. Just telling you in advance so you know, 'cause I did not know that. The audio is read by Hilary Huber. A story called Irish Eyes that begins on St. Patrick's Day and features a protagonist named Callahan Garrity would seem to be aimed at a very targeted audience. In fact, this 8th installment in Trocek's series will appeal to Irish and non-Irish alike. Former Atlanta cop Garrity returns to crime solving when her ex-partner, Bucky Devers, is shot on the way home from a party that he finagled her into attending at the Shamrock Society. With the help of the eccentric staff of her house-cleaning business, Garrity vows to get to the bottom of the shooting. This is an entertaining, suspenseful romp. The plot zips along, but not too fast to blur the exceptional characters. Trocek's obvious first-hand knowledge of Atlanta makes her descriptions of the city shine with realism. Ivanovich fans will appreciate some similarities, but Trocek's humor is drier. Irish Eyes won't be the only one smiling while reading this first-rate thriller. And that's the book list review. And on a reader's note, if you'd like to start reading the series from the beginning, check out Book 1, which is titled Every Crooked Nanny. Our second audiobook recommendation of the week is the mystery Murder in an Irish Churchyard by Charlene O'Connor. The audio is read by Caroline Lennon. At the start of O'Connor's captivating third Irish village mystery, Father Kearney summons Siobhan O'Sullivan, who's about to start her first day at Kilbane Guard Station, to St. Mary's Churchyard, where the body of a man lies in the snow. Someone fatally shot the victim, later identified as American Peter Mallon, the patriarch of the wealthy Mallon family. Fingers point to everyone involved with filming a documentary in Kilbane about the Mallons' Irish heritage. Siobhan is dismayed to discover that she must report directly to her ex-boyfriend, Detective Sergeant Flannery, who's been temporarily called up from Dublin to help close the case. They forge an uneasy partnership as they question suspects and uncover a tangled web of brotherly betrayal and unresolved heartbreak. Fans of light mysteries with an Irish flavor will look forward to Siobhan and Macadaria's further adventures. And that's the book list review. And on a reader's note, if you'd like to start reading the series from the beginning, check out Book 1, Murder in an Irish Village. Want more reading, listening, and viewing recommendations? Check out the Tech and Book Talk blog, which offers weekly and monthly recommendations, and the back catalog of Library Connections videos found on the Southeast Steuben County Library's YouTube page. You can find the Tech and Book Talk blog online at sscltech.com, and the library's YouTube page is found on YouTube, that's youtube.com, and then just type in Southeast Steuben County Library. Moving on to our next section, next week at the library, we'll take a brief look at the events and activities hosted by the library, on site and off, for the week ahead of us. This time out, it's the week of March 20th through the 25th, 2023. This information can also be found online. Simply visit the library's website located at ssclibrary.org and click on the big bold calendar link you'll see located near the top of the page. And on a registration note, registration is required for programs, unless otherwise specified, or unless the program is of the online on-demand variety, in which case, of course, please just help yourself. You can register for programs through the library's website, by calling the library at area code 607-936-3713, or by just plain dropping by. On Monday, March 20th, there are no programs at the library. Happy reading. And I forgot the orange dot. There it is. Moving on to Tuesday, March 21st, we have a whole host of programs. Tuesday is always our busiest program day. We kick things off with Coffee, Tea, and English Vocabulary from 9:15 to 10:15 a.m. This is a hybrid program held both at the library in person and online via Zoom. Then from 10 to 10:30 a.m. we have Story Time with Miss Sue, a story time for little ones, infants to 3 years of age. This story time is held in the newly remodeled children's section on the first floor. Then from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. we've got Coffee, Tea, and English Conversation, also a hybrid program. And moving on to the early afternoon programs from 1 to 3 p.m., it's the weekly SSCL Scrabble Club. This program is held in the library's reading room, at least until they get the heat fixed in the community room, and then it may be held there again. But for right now, you want to be in the library's reading room because it's cold in the community room. And I'm digressing. Let me get back to the events. Moving on to our late afternoon programs on the 21st, we've got GATLIS from 3 to 4:30 p.m. GATLIS stands for Gay at the Library After School. GATLIS offers a safe and supportive space for youth to talk about gender, sexuality, and what's going on in their lives. It's open to anyone ages 11 through 18, which is grades 6 through 12. GATLIS is a partnership program co-hosted by the library and Planned Parenthood of Greater New York. Your host for the program is Carmen Greco of Planned Parenthood of Greater New York, and your library contact is our head honcho of Young Adult Services, Kayla Crane. Then from 4 to 5 p.m. we have the LSC Author Talk with celebrity chef Gernard Wells. This is a talk that will leave you starving for more. Join us as we chat with celebrity chef Gernard Wells about his newest cookbook, Southern Inspired, more than 100 delicious dishes from my American table to yours. This is an online program. I do have the link here on the screen. You can also access the link by going to the library's website, ssclibrary.org, clicking on the events link found on our homepage, and then looking for the date on the calendar, which is the 21st, and clicking or tapping on the LSC Author Talk title at 4 p.m., and that way you'll be able to access the link directly. Or you can type it in. And from 5:30 to 7 p.m., we have an in-person author talk being held at the library with local author and nurse Sherry Diedrich, who will read from and discuss her new memoir, My Haunted Faith, a true story of spiritual warfare and God's greatest blessing. This will be held at the library. On Wednesday, March 22nd, our first program of the day is Miss Sue's Preschool Storytime, which runs from 10 to 10:30 a.m. and will be held in the newly reopened children's room at the library. This program is suggested for little ones ages 3 to 6 years, and Miss Sue will present an interactive story time that combines moving, singing, and playing to stimulate all 5 senses and promote learning. Then from noon to 1 p.m., it's Sticky Notes Thematic Book Club Online. This is an online program, and you simply pick a book to read related to our monthly theme in some way, fiction, nonfiction, any genre, then come and tell the Sticky Notes group all about it. What was it about? What did you like or not like? Each meeting will vote on the following month's theme. And for more information, contact our head honcho of adult services, Michelle Wells. At 1 p.m., we have the weekly Mahjong session. This program is held at the library. Then from 3 to 4:30 p.m., it's the weekly Atlas. Atlas stands for At the Library After School. And the Atlas program provides young adults a relaxing environment to wind down after school, work on homework, play games, use library resources, and participate in guided makerspace projects. Registration is not required, simply show up. Then from 6 to 8 p.m. is the Corning Adult Writers Group, which is a hybrid program held both at the library in person and via Zoom. On Thursday, March 23rd, we have one program at the library. It's the Coffee, Tea, and English Book Club from 10 to 11:30 a.m. Coffee, Tea, and English, of course, is the name of our series for adult learners of English. And this is a hybrid program. You can come and attend in person, or you can get the Zoom link from the head honcho of the series, Mary Alice Little. On Friday, March 24th, our first program of the day is the March Artful Storytime from 10 to 11 a.m. Artful Storytime is a weekly session of stories followed by arts and crafts. This program is designed for and open to preschool-age children, 3 to 6 years of age. Then from noon to 1 p.m., it's the March Artsy Kids. Artsy Kids is a 3-week session of art history and painting. This program is designed for and open to homeschool children ages 7 through 12. Both those programs are being held at the library. And then at 1 p.m., it's the debut of the new episode of Library Connections, a weekly readers and listeners advisory videocast, which makes its debut on Facebook and YouTube, and the following week on the Book and Tech Talk blog. Moving on to our afternoon programs on Friday the 24th, we've got Teen Dungeons & Dragons from 4 to 6:30 p.m. This program is held at the library and led by Dungeon Master Robin. This gathering is suitable for people ages 13 through 17, and all levels of experience will be welcomed in this safe space. Come to one or all gatherings. On Saturday, March 25th, we have a special program from 11:30 to 2 p.m. It's the Cabin Fever Write-In. This is a hybrid program being held both at the library in person and via Zoom. And let me tell you about it. It's a writing program. Are you ready to shake off the late wintry grip of the March blahs? Join Michelle for the Cabin Fever Write-In. We'll be doing our usual thing, food and prizes, with time to write in the company of other writers. Come soak up the writing energy. There will be a Zoom option for anyone who wants to join us that way. To get the Zoom link, just send Michelle an email at wellsm@stls.org. And for this one, registration is required. And here briefly are our library programs contacts. If you have any questions about any library programs, let us know. And that's the program for this week. I'll be back next week with a new edition of Library Connections. Have a great week.